Well, hello, and welcome back to Booze Reviews. Nope, I do not have a good British accent. Welcome back to Booze Reviews, where I, Aunt Boo, drink some booze and I reviews these movies. Today's booze is Crown Royale with apple. Because we're going to England and we're getting fancy with it, but also we're going by way of full frontal nudity. So, it's got to have a little kink in there. Also, I can't handle my crown straight. I like it with a little jazz in it. It's like a Jolly Rancher. Ooh, it burns. Dipped in gasoline. I did bring water. I'm going to cheat, guys. I'm not a whiskey drinker. What was I thinking? I'm such a lightweight. I know it doesn't look like it, but really, I have wine and beer every now and then. This shit, I'm not doing shots of it. I'm just going to sip on it. You'll see me passed out. You will see me flat out under the table if I did shots of this. I'm just going to sip on it, and that's my choice. Remember from Family Guy, the one guy? Who am I looking at? There's nobody else down here. They're all upstairs. Well, hello, and welcome back to Booze Reviews. Just went full Dick Van Dyke there. No. Hello, governor. Speaking of Dick, Saltburn with a running time of 2 hours and 11 minutes. It stars Rosamund Pike, Jacob Elordi, Barry Keoghan, and Carey Mulligan. It has a great supporting cast, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. And that's where I watched it today while my kids were at school. I watched this movie, and then I took a shower because it was filthy. It was dirty. There's some real kinky shit in this movie. Have you seen it? I've been avoiding watching reviews on it just because I don't want to be too informed before I make up my own mind about it. Right from the get-go, the opening credits even are pretty fantastic. And Saltburn is a story as old as time, similar to Brideshead Revisited, similar to The Talented Mr. Ripley, except what those movies lacked was a penis, like a naked penis. There's going to be a lot of penis talk today, so I hope you're ready for that. There's like a whole scene at the end where this guy is just straight up naked, dancing around this castle with his Franks and beans right out there. I did watch an interview with Barry Keoghan and defending that scene. And he was like the executive decision that they made for that scene. He said something like, it's just something that people do. I'm sure everyone has done it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if everyone has danced around naked. I would think it's pretty difficult with one of those things hanging off of you. This is marked as like a comedy thriller. It's not that funny, but Rosamund, the f*** do you say her name? Rosamund Pike is f***ing brilliant. She is so good. Such a well-written of a character. Oh my gosh, she is pure perfection in this role. God, I love her. The acting is top tier. Some of these people I've never heard of. I haven't had a lot of exposure to Barry Keoghan. pun intended, before this. Now I've seen everything. Now I've seen all he's got. You will too. Just flopping out there, dancing through the whole castle, just flopping it, flip-flopping that sausage around. He did not get the old Irish curse, I'll tell you that, unless that thing is just not real. How would they do that with like CGI? Can you imagine? Ugh. I'm not the best judge of penises. Burning. It's the afterburn that gets you. That's what she said. Look, I got my fancy earrings on. Because I'm fancy. I'm the upper echelon of the British society. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, dicks. I am not probably the best judge of penises, because I feel about those things the way I do about like the power lines in my backyard and the telephone poles that connect all of them. It's like I super appreciate them. I want them to function properly, and when they don't, I get sad about it. I'm really appreciative when they're working and I understand what they do. I just don't want to go outside and stare at them all day, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they were underground. That metaphor got away from me. Sorry about that. Sorry. But it's a sausage fest in my house. I mean, I'm a mom of boys. There's only boys, so all they talk about is balls. Hey, let's talk about balls real quick before we get into this movie, because those are the stupidest things I've ever seen. Look, I'm a fat middle-aged woman. I've had a couple kids. I'm pretty gross. I have some stretch marks. I have a fupa. There will never be anything on my body as disgusting looking as balls. Those things are just stupid. You know they're stupid looking. You've seen them. I'm not telling tales out of school. What are they made out of? Like lizard skin? It looks like you just took a bunch of hair clippings and glued them on like raw chicken. And some of them are gray and some of them are red. It's like the ones I've seen, they're either gray or they're red. And it's like neither of those colors turn me on. And how do you guys do it? How do you guys walk around with them? You know, I think gay men like them. I have it on good authority that gay men are very fond of balls, the way that straight men are fond of boobs. So somebody likes them. There's hope for you yet, balls. What the hell is this channel? I guess I should take time to say if you like this content, please like and subscribe. What the hell? If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Stop it, Carrie. Whew. It's the jazz. It's the apple getting to me. Okay. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. If you hate this content, send it to someone you hate. I'm all right with that. The algorithm won't care. If you like it, send it to your best friend and have a nice laugh over it. And if you hate it, send it to someone you hate. And either way, I'll get credit and the algorithm will push me out so more people can know my thoughts and opinions on penis and balls. Penis and balls. Penis and balls. Penis and balls. I'm gonna lose subscribers over penis and balls. Now we're gonna get serious, because what is the point of Saltburn? So the plot of Saltburn is very similar to a story we've heard before. So some poor guy in college befriends a wealthy, upper class, titled British man. They're both British. I don't know why I said British, but they go to Oxford. And then the Felix, who's played by Jacob Elordi, he takes Oliver, who is played by Barry Keoghan, under his wing. And Oliver has this really sad story about his mother being a lifelong alcoholic and his father being a drug dealer. The interesting thing is, we are supposed to think that Felix is this outstanding guy for being so rich and so popular, but still having a pity friend like Oliver. It seems like they really get to know each other. I have hair stuck in my lips. It seems like they really get to know each other and that they truly become friends. However, there's a scene, and it's very interesting to me, and I didn't realize what a great actor Jacob Elordi is. I keep having to look at the pronunciation of his name. I didn't realize what a great actor he was, because I don't watch Euphoria, which apparently he plays a pretty bad guy in. I've only seen, oh, why am I admitting this to all of you? I've only seen him in The Kissing Booth. Yes, I did watch The Kissing Booth, and it was hot garbage, and I hated it, but I watched it. So, you know, that movie is trash garbage. So I've only seen him in that. He's excellent in this movie. Granted, his character doesn't need a lot of depth, but there are some pretty interesting, subtle choices that he makes throughout the movie. One of them is when Oliver tells him his backstory, and he's telling him his real sad story about how his father deals drugs. The look on Felix's face is not just pity. It genuinely piques his interest. He's genuinely curious about Oliver now. Not only does Oliver represent a class of people that he normally would not associate with, but Oliver now represents a subclass of people that he would otherwise not associate with, even though chances are that the wealthy elite know drug dealers. They don't know that kind of drug dealer, right? They know the drug dealer who's probably some spoiled rich kid who just wants drugs, and that's where they get their cocaine from. But they don't know Oliver's dad kind of drug dealer. Oliver is this total fish out of water. He has given this really sad story. He's a scholarship kid to Oxford. All of his clothes are hand-me-downs. Even Felix has to bail him out of a couple of financial things when he can't pay for drinks at the bar. And, you know, we are led to believe that Oliver is this, aw shucks, thanks for inviting me to the party kind of guy. So Felix brings Oliver home for the summer because Oliver's dad dies, and he doesn't want to go home and spend the summer with his mother. So Felix says, come to the castle, come to Saltburn. Their house has a name. It's a castle. And so Oliver joins him, and then we meet the mom, Rosamund Pike.
Oliver, I have a complete and utter horror of ugliness. Ever since I was very young. I don't know why.
Because you're a terrible person.
Don't be mean.
God.
Fingers for pudding.
We thought you'd grow out of it, the throwing up.
I didn't know.
Well, exactly. Hasn't even helped. Complete waste of time. Honestly.
She's just she's perfection. You have to watch the movie. Please go watch the movie just for her performance. She should win an Oscar for it. I really do think. No, it's going to go to that lady from The Color Purple, but that's okay. He meets Venetia. Stupid name. That's the stupidest name. He meets Venetia, who is the sister who gets ripped apart by the mom for her weight. Is she supposed to be overweight? Right off. I don't like that I'm getting used to it and it stopped burning. I don't like that. I need the burn to feel alive. So the other person here is someone that Oliver met at Oxford as well, and his name is Farley. Now, he is the cousin to this family. He is a mixed race person. He's really freaking cute. This guy is just adorable. He's gay, I guess, or bi. No, he's gay. He's definitely gay. And he's a total asshole. He is such a douchebag to Oliver. However, I have a whole theory about him, and I think it holds up. I feel like Farley, we learn that he is the up sister's son that she had out of wedlock. And so he's American. He's, he is in the family. And so they fund a lot of his education and his lifestyle. But his standing in the family, I feel, is very precarious. And so right away, when Felix befriends Oliver, Farley is on high alert, and he does not like Oliver. And you wonder if it's because he's being protective of the family and protective of Felix because everybody loves Felix, and if he's just wondering if his cousin is being taken advantage of. But I honestly believe he hates Oliver so much because he's being protective of his own standing in the family, of his own position, his wealth and his station and his whole life, in fact, even his future, is dependent on the acceptance, basically at the whim of the wealthy family that he's a part of. So he's a part of it, but he's not really in. I feel like Farley represents a growing portion of the middle class more than any other character in this movie. Even Oliver, you could argue this about America, that there's a growing part of the dying middle class that idolizes and aspires to wealth so much that they identify more with the wealthy and tend to look down on the poor. The problem with this is they are closer to lower class than upper class. They are closer in socioeconomic status to being lower class than they are to ever being upper class. The only reason they think they could identify with the upper class is because they are being sold meritocracy, which we all know can only get you so far. The power and the wealth and the influence and the opportunity is is abundant for the upper class and less so for everyone else. And I'm not saying that if you work hard that anything is possible. I believe that that can be true given the perfect set of circumstances. It is more the exception, though, than the rule. It used to be the American dream, and you were being sold that dream, again, by a lot of people with a lot of power and influence who are pretty much telling you that this is what you should be dreaming about. And then they sell it to you. They sell you this dream. They are playing a game where the cards are already stacked. And you can come to the table. You may get an invitation to come to the table and play, but you're going to have to work twice as hard, maybe even 10 times as hard, to just figure out the rules of the game. And then you're going to have to learn all the ways that they cheat at the game. And then you, in order to win the game, you're going to have to cheat too. Farley is allowed to sit, and even invited to sit at the table with the Cattons, right? But it's a table that he doesn't own and that he won't inherit. Damn, Carrie, that's good. I'll drink to that. Woo, my English degree is paying off with Dix and Ball. Oliver starts to reveal the cracks in his backstory, in his character. And he does some really funky shit. He does a really nasty thing with the sister. I'm not going to talk about it because it's just, I just don't, ugh. And then he does some nasty thing with the cousin, although that's a lot less nasty than what he does with the sister. Ugh. Blah. He said, he has a line that says something to the extent of, well, I'm a vampire, didn't you know? Which he tells on himself, because not only in that scene is it grossly relevant, but in the whole movie, he's a vampire. He pretty much ends up unraveling, and we find out that it was his plan to basically murder everybody. So he ends up murdering Felix. He ends up setting the stage for Venetia to kill herself. I don't know what happens to the dad. I think I went to the bathroom during that part. But the dad dies, and then he befriends the mom, and I'm going to guess that he had something to do with her death, and then he just pulls the plug on her. And so he ends up inheriting all their wealth because he manipulates the mother to make him the sole heir of their estate. So his character is really the one who has upward mobility, but it's achieved, his wealth is achieved through nefarious deeds. And is that the moral of the movie? Is that the point of the movie, is to say that there really is no way to attain that much wealth and that much status without bending a shit ton of rules, just being an overall nut job of a person? Yeah, I kind of think that's the point of the movie. And I'm going to argue, I get it. I see that. I think that's a pretty okay argument to make, because how else will you explain these billionaires who are trying to go into space while their factory workers can't make a living wage or get full-time status so that they can get insurance. How else do you explain one of the wealthiest families in America being quadrillionaires while the majority of the people who work in their store have to be on federal assistance? People get rich by doing a lot of shitty things. And again, are there legitimately rich people who made a name for themselves, climbed the ladder ethically, and are now doing great? They are the exception. They are the 1% of the 1%, probably. Everyone else either did nothing and inherited their status and wealth, or they did a lot of shady shit and continue to get away with it. Like, I don't know, open factories overseas so they don't have to pay proper taxes here. That could help the poor that we all look down on. It's not that I don't believe in capitalism. It's that it's so up, and the cards are stacked. And they're not for you. If you're watching this video right now, you are probably like me, and we are not the winners of the game. And then just think about these whole subsections of the middle class because of various other factors who decades ago were not given the right to own property or invest properly. And so they had no generational wealth to pass down, and have a huge disparity of opportunity now to even create generational wealth for their future generations. So, it's all up, because the last 7 minutes of the movie, we learn that Oliver's a psychopath. And he's got a decent sized schlong. And he strips down naked and dances through this castle that he just inherited. Oliver's not even poor, by the way. They figure out through a series of events that Oliver is from just a normal middle-class family, and it's very normal. So now, if you were just looking at the story and not the symbolism inside of the story, you would just see that the middle-class guy is the bad guy, and he's just jealous of all this wealth, and he's going to eat the rich like Hannibal Lecter with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. I line up. Let me try that again. And he's just going to eat the rich like Hannibal Lecter with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. We want to eat the rich. Eat the rich, man. They don't give a shit about you. Do you think the people who run YouTube give a shit about me? I'm nothing. I'm nobody to them. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. Nobody gives a shit about anything. But you know what there is? A penis and balls. There's penis and balls. We're gonna sing a song about penis and balls. It all comes back. Freud was right. It all comes back to penis and balls. So that's how we end the movie, with some penis and balls. The film itself is beautiful. The editing in this movie, if I can just be serious again for a second, the editing in this movie is fantastic. It is so good. Carey Mulligan has kind of a cameo in it, very small part, but it's so effective. And it just shows how vapid this family is, and how they can so easily dehumanize people, and that people don't really matter to them, and except for the kids, who seem to be more vulnerable than the parents. But It's a great movie. It's beautiful. It's really some of the imagery in the movie, and like I said, the editing and the imagery. There's some Fincher-esque dubstep music in there when things get really, tense. There's some beautiful shots of when they're partying, just of the different faces and things like that. But all I keep thinking about are penis and balls. So what do I think about this movie as a whole? I think it was brilliantly acted. I think it's a great movie. It's written and directed by Emerald Fennell. That's a name. And oh, Margot Robbie is one of the producers. Okay, all right, go. Get your title there, Margot Robbie. And like I said, it's a pretty good movie for what it is. I don't think it's as satirical as it could be or even should be. I think our sympathies, even though they shouldn't, I think they inherently lie in the Felix character. But again, I think that's a misdirect, because really we should be identifying more with Farley's character, the asshole. We hate him, but I honestly feel like he represents a larger chunk of society than Felix does, or even Oliver, because Oliver's just a straight up psychopath. Oh yeah, and there's this one scene after Felix dies where Oliver gets naked. I'm not going to show it, but let's say he doesn't ask consent to Felix's freshly dug grave. He's full on naked there too, but we don't see the thing yet because oh my God, full circle moment, because he sticks it in the ground. He puts the telephone pole underground. What? Get out of here. I can't believe that worked. Oh my God, shut up. Okay, tell me your thoughts. Have you seen Saltburn? Do you desire to see it? I get it if you don't want to see it. It's about people that you should not care about. But I do think it's worth a view. I think you should watch it if you haven't. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's free if you have Prime. And if you don't, call me and I'll give you my code. I would love to do that and really stick it to Jeff Bezos, who I just went off on, but then I watched this movie on his Amazon Prime. You can't get away from these rich people. They control everything. See? And that's it. Penis and balls. We're gonna do a dance with our penis and balls. I'm gonna get demonetized. Singing about. You sing it now. You sing. Penis and balls.